So coming off the EA conference, we come on to the Ubisoft conference.
Yep.
They were back to back. The first thing they showed was Far Cry.
Yeah,
4.
Far Cry 4. There's
They showed a trailer.
lots to talk about on this one.
Yeah, they might as well get into the actual Far Cry itself. They showed off a gameplay demo at the Sony conference.
Yep.
In the gameplay demo, they showed off a bit of the, I guess,
Traversal.
Yeah, using the wingsuit.
Wingsuit, gyrocopter, all that sort of stuff. They
Showed a couple of new weapons.
Yep.
Or the new crossbow gun.
Yep,
I guess
that sort of stuff.
That looked pretty cool.
And then they teased of multiplayer sort of stuff.
Yeah, they showed
like
co-op. I think if you haven't seen the trailer, like go find it out on YouTube somewhere.
Yep.
Far Cry 4 trailer. Or Far Cry 4 gameplay demo. They showed off you teaming up with someone to infiltrate a fortress, which was a classic part of Far Cry 2 and 3.
Yep.
Showed you infiltrating with him. He had a gyrocopter, is what you call it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or ultralight, yeah.
Yeah, and I think in terms of co-op, I think if it wasn't AI controlled at the conference, I'm sure there was someone else playing it. I'm
pretty sure there was, because there was 2 screens that showed
Yeah,
players who has joined Herc, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, so there's 3... Oh, sorry, 3.
Yeah.
You can have another player join you. I'm not sure if that means just joining you for this section of the game, like in terms of proper co-op, or they can join you for the whole game.
Ah, yeah.
So I'm not too sure how that's going to work.
Yeah. If it was just for certain sections, it would feel a bit cheap.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like Far Cry 3 had its own co-op mode.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it would be good to have a co-op integration to Far Cry.
Something that's really interesting to me about Far Cry 4 is since it's set in the Himalayas, it's a lot of verticality.
I think that's
to the
awesome.
area, to the map, and still sort of like the same sort of open world format as the last games. Which I think is really cool. Like more verticality is always interesting, and verticality has definitely been a buzzword. But yeah, that's really good. It's really interesting.
I think one thing it looked awesome.
Yeah,
it looks
and opens up stuff like the wingsuit and
the gyrocopter, and those are the ways that I'm guessing you'll be getting around.
Yeah, probably.
Mostly. Since with Far Cry 2 and 3, you can just drive everywhere on flat ground.
Far Cry 3 also had like a bit of hang gliding
and stuff like that if you need to. But then there's in the Himalayas, the verticality is just on that sort of higher scale. So you need the wingsuit and you need the gyrocopter or the ultralight. So you'll see a lot of that, I think.
It just looked fun. It just looked like a fun game to play.
Yeah, it looked like a really fun world to be in.
Another thing that was not teased at the Sony conference, more or less announced, was I think that caught some people off guard. Caught me off guard. I'm not too sure how to take it, but they were saying your PlayStation friends can join you. Awesome. Normal, but they don't have to have the game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I think that was very interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it at all. How does that work? How can they join you in the game? But apparently later on there was not announced. I think it was more or less said that your PSN friends can join you. They'll first have to download a section of the game.
They would have to.
Which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
In the end, like how else can you really get them in the game without them having?
And
the game?
you got to look past. The feature as to why they'll be putting it in, and what I think is that it's to market.
I think it's to
people who haven't played the game. They
of course. I think it's
with my friends, see what it's like, and
it's
then,
the best way of like instead of like word to mouth. It's literally you get to see what your friends.
You get to interact
exactly
and see if you like it, and that's really really good.
I think that's going to work fine.
It's like one of my favorite ways of that's been invented of ways to sort of like share games with other friends, because you get to download something for free and play something for free and see if you like it, and that's very different from what I was expecting from.
I didn't expect that at all, and I think it's a big coup for Sony as well. It's maybe not necessarily the biggest coup, but it's a little nugget there that really gets. Yeah, like you can invite your friends. Like, have you played Far Cry 4? No, I'm not sure I want to get it.
Okay, try it out.
Come join and take out this outpost. Did you like that? Go get the game yourself. Yeah, definitely play properly.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing to like get people inducted into the Far Cry sort of universe, and that's really good.
They gave a date.
Did they?
Release November 18th, 20th, I think in Australia.
Okay.
18th for the States, 20th for Australia.
Okay.
Yep. They moved on from the highs. Like, in terms of the Ubisoft conference, there was just the Far Cry trailer.
Yep.
They moved from the highs of the Himalayas to the whatever you want to call it. They showed a new Just Dance.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Whatever. Like they showed a trailer. They showed a new mobile app.
Whoa! Just Dance.
I think this is a bit clever on their part. I'm not too interested, but I think it's clever in the terms like Just Dance now will have a mobile app. I'm not sure if they gave that a date, but
yeah, they're definitely tentpoling, like in terms of the way that they're setting up the conference. You've got Far Cry 4, big.
Yeah.
Little. Big.
Yeah.
Little. Big.
I think, like, with going back to Just Dance, I think they showed off an app for your phone in which that you use your phone for the game. They were saying you have something on your computer or your TV. Doesn't have to be like the physical game. Like, it could be like, I think just use the internet. Bring up a browser or whatever. It'll show you the dance moves on screen and use your phone as in terms like the Wiimote, but like use the gyroscope within the phone to read your dance moves.
Oh, so the game doesn't work without a smartphone?
This version, this is a different. There's a normal Just Dance game like for retail for console, but then this was like a
secondary feature.
Yeah, okay. Not a feature. I think it's like its own game, but it's like a mobile game.
Okay, so it actually tracks, your movement.
I think so. Like, I think it was like
that's quite a feat. I mean,
I think it's not
for us. Like we develop for mobiles and stuff, and we actually played around a lot with the gyroscope for one of our games. And gyroscopes are very different across each phone, and it'd be very interesting to see how they unify.
Yeah, but I think I don't care really about Just Dance. Like, it exists in the world. It's a very not well received. It sells a lot of units. Yeah.
We're talking a lot about Just Dance.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think like not necessarily the Just Dance thing, but like, I mean, the technology that they've decided to use for this app.
Yeah.
Type thing. Like, it reads like your movements.
Yeah, they're trying something huge.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Big scale. Might as well try it out.
Big game for Ubisoft. Division. They showed off a trailer, very somber, story-driven trailer.
Yep.
It was a time-lapse. You saw this trailer, yeah?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, they showed like it was time-lapsed with no actual people in it until the end. That trailer was very deep and like showing like how this epidemic that happened in America really just like screwed around with a lot of people.
Yep.
They showed off gameplay at the Microsoft conference. We'll touch on that. It was like, we touched on it a bit, but like just again, like it's 4-player.
Yeah.
It was open. It's an open world. RPG-ish game, MMO-ish. Like people can join you.
They still didn't really release.
They really haven't specified what the game is.
What the MMO part of it is, what the online parts of it are.
I think the online is obviously people can join you like as a team.
Online.
Like MMO-ish, they haven't shown like there's other people.
Like the very first trailer that they released, or gameplay trailer, or whatever it was, sort of teased that it zoomed out and showed other squads and other city doing it as well. That sort of like connoted that. There's going to be other players in the same persistent world. They haven't really talked anything about that, so I guess we'll see.
So that was like Division was shown off, and I think it did well at the show.
Yeah.
The Crew showed us the trailer. They showed enough gameplay It's coming out this November.
Crew's that driving game.
Yeah, Crew's an open world driving game.
Okay. Cool.
I think it's an interesting concept. Like, I mean, they showed like
Didn't Need for Speed Ready do that?
They did a game like that, but this is like that was like a story-driven game. This is like the whole country is open.
Oh, okay, so it's a very, very large scale.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I guess is that like a replica of the United States? Or something?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a scale, like not 1-to-1, obviously representation of the states, but you can drive. You can literally drive. The trailer was called. It was a coast to coast. So you drove from the southern part of the states all the way to the western part of like east to west. So you ended up in San Francisco or California or somewhere.
Okay. And
apparently in real time that's like a 2-hour odd mission.
Right. Going
from coast to coast. Obviously there's stuff in between you do, but like you still drive.
Obviously it's not like real world scale, but it's on
2 hours. That's still a lot of stuff. Like that's one mission going from one side of the country. That was what they was talking
2 hour drive. I mean, in a game that's massive.
That's a massive like. Obviously you do something along the way, but
I mean that's pretty cool. It's cool.
One thing they showed off. At the Microsoft conference a 4-player demo of
Assassin's Creed.
One of the games I'm very excited for, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yep.
It looked awesome. I think going off the 4-player co-op first, it's a very interesting take on how you can play now. So within Assassin's Creed, usually it's single player, you do missions, blah blah blah. But now they've said, why not bring other assassins into it and help you do certain missions?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if the other assassins will be only able to do certain time missions with you, or you can do any mission with these guys, like in terms of like attacking people, not necessarily like find a person type.
I think if it's called Unity, that you'd be able to do it for everything.
Well, I think that's what it's touted. Like you can do most things with them. I think.
And this is a concept which has really interested me. That's really it's like a
the
logical
4-player
step.
co-op stuff.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that before they even announced it. Like, it wouldn't be cool if Assassin's Creed had like a 4-player. Like that would be like a.
And it's integrated within the main story. It's not like a separate mode.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it seems.
And
like...
applications for this, like outside of actually having a story mode, a multiplayer mode, or whatever, is like really huge. Like, imagine if you and 3 other players, like I said this on Twitter, were together and you had to like assassinate a target, and then another person jumped into your game and had to try and protect your target. Right?
I don't know if that's going to be the.
Or like one person in your team is a VIP, and another person in another 4-player team is another VIP, and you got to protect your VIP. And
so I think that's more going into separate modes, more or less, integrated into the story.
It's definitely like a PV. Like if you want to use MMO terms, it's a very PVE game that is shaping up to be like players cooperatively taking out AI.
Yeah.
But if it was PvP. Like, imagine how interesting that would be.
That could be very interesting.
Yeah,
I just don't know how
the different mechanics in the Assassin's Creed, like the hiding and the blending in and stuff like that. It'd be interesting how they would apply that.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do that, that would be a buy for me. I think that'd be really interesting.
For me, like, obviously no one had seen anything of Unity until E3. Yeah. I think it looks awesome. Like that 4-player trailer.
If it's got PvP, I'll be very, very interested.
Yeah, that could be cool. Like the 4-player co-op mission stuff, gameplay. I think that was very interesting. How they worked as a team for one objective. I think that was like you're saying PvP, but like I think it was like they all work separately, like eliminating certain targets, like distracting one target so your teammates could run past.
Yeah,
I think that was awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Very much in line with the Assassin's Creed stuff, like stealth. Not sort of teamwork, but like Brotherhood was like the Creed. Assassin's Creed is a brotherhood of people.
I hope they raise the difficulty of the game to reflect that there's now 4 players in the game.
Oh yeah, they scale it. Yeah,
because now if you've got 3 other people helping you, you could do so much things, so much.
I mean, like in terms of Assassin's Creed, you could always make it easier for yourself if you planned it out properly. Like you assassinated the right people, you took them out without anyone knowing. It was always an easier.
But in this case, like
of the
with
game.
3 other people, that's 4 people against like a room or whatever. That's so much more brute force. You can just like slash through everything without any sort of danger. Sure. So hopefully they have a lot more difficulty in the game to reflect the amount of power that the players together have.
Yeah, of course. At the Ubisoft conference itself, that was the 4-player stuff was shown at the Microsoft conference. The single-player demo was shown. Mm-hmm. More or less the same. More or less what you expect from Assassin's Creed. They kind of opened up the world more. Like there's side missions. There's certain not missions, but like side events, like a mob getting attacked that you don't have to interact with.
Is the game in France, like the whole thing?
Yeah, France Revolution. It's based on French Revolution.
Cool.
I think it's a cool time period.
Yeah, I mean,
They I think the Assassin's Creed 4, the time period wasn't as exciting. Like I think Assassin's Creed 3 had a more interesting time period, like the American Revolution, the American George Washington. That's a much more interesting time period. But I think the French Revolution is probably even more interesting.
Oh yeah, no, I really like that part of history.
Yeah, so like the single player stuff showed off your combat. The free running, for one thing, looked so much better.
Yeah?
I think, more or less, not the normal traversing up, but going down. They were talking about... I can't remember, it's controlled descent, I think they called it.
Okay.
So instead of just jumping into a bale of hay, you could parkour down
the buildings and stuff.
Which looked much more fluent, I think. It looked better. It's like a small touch that makes the game feel probably more... Not authentic, but I guess because I don't know what parkour is, but like, how to do it properly. But I mean, like, it made it look like this is realistically what it would look like to scale down a building. Because you're a pro assassin.
Because in the later games, when you walk up a wall, the character will just like automatically adjust for any sort of like different heights and different surfaces and stuff. Like, it just makes it much more interesting when he has to do that on the way down as well.
Yeah,
like while falling down.
I think the game looks cool. I'm very excited for it. I can't wait for it to come out.
Yep.
Announced for October 28th.
Okay.
Amongst the every other game, Sunset Overdrive is October 28th.
Yeah. 28.
There's a lot of games coming around that time period. Next up, Shape Up, an Xbox Connect game.
Cool.
Working out, whatever.
And then another game which is like one of my favorite of the show, Valiant Hearts. Cool.
Tearjerker of a trailer.
Yeah.
Looks very cool. Running off the UBR engine, which has been used for the Rayman
Legends
Origins as well.
Rayman Origins,
as well as Child of Light.
Yep.
these projects for Ubisoft they're side projects, which is good. They make all the money off the Assassin's Creed, the whatever.
Yeah, and then that actually allows them to make.
They'll fund like a smaller team within the big teams to go, hey, make
something more heartfelt, like more targeted,
like Child of Light, a cool little RPG.
Yeah,
12-hour RPG. I think it's critically being acclaimed.
Yeah.
Like it's a good looking game. I haven't played it yet. I want to.
Yeah, it's a very smart move. It's like very. Yeah, I'm glad they're
like Valley Hunt. You want to talk about it? Sure.
Yeah,
like,
I do.
What the gameplay looks like.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of gameplay as well.
Yeah.
So basically, what it is like the trailer showed a lot of like the scenes behind it. So basically, it's like 4 main players and then a dog, I think. And it sort of like details a bunch of actual real world World War One letters back home from troops on the front line.
Yeah, it's
so
integrated them.
So you got 3 of the Allied forces characters, and 1 is actually the Axis, which is Germany. I think it was called the Axis back then. But yeah, there's 1 German and then 3 of
oh really?
the heroes. Yeah,
I thought they were just all on the same team.
No. 1 was a German.
The chick's a nurse, yeah.
Chick's a nurse,
so she obviously can help both teams out, like both parties out.
I guess so.
Because I think medics were
allowed to be female male. Yeah.
Yeah, like not that like female, but like medics could realistically help both sides out. They weren't like medics weren't seen like you can only help one. I think. I guess so. I don't know history well, but I mean, like, I think, like, obviously medics were never targeted, so medics.
Yeah, I think there was a sort of
agreement, like thing, like medics help us out, so we shouldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So I think, like, the medic, obviously within the scope of the game, there's 4 players, so I'm guessing the medic interacts with all of them at some point. So
I guess
that's what I mean. Like, the medic didn't have to be with one side.
We'll keep with what we actually saw, but
sure.
what we saw was basically. They played the Saboteur character, which is one of the French people, and it was based around a story where he was trying to get around German encampments and stuff like that.
Was that when he got in the light shot?
This is the one where there was like German machine guns, which were like blockading bridges and stuff like that, and he had to find a way to block the bridges and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So basically, how it played was a 2D. You had to, it's basically like a problem solver, like a puzzle-ish sort of game. So the machine gun's firing, but then it reloads every now and then, so you can run through and then get down a certain ladder. You have to time it right, and then you have to go, collect things and bring them back to a certain area. So it's a problem-solving game with very interesting human twist, like sort of like face to it, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you said, it was quite a touching trailer and very interesting. And I'm very, very interested in the way that it's actually real World War One stories.
Yeah, that's cool.
Told in this sort of format.
Is it all of them, or is it just some aspects of real World War
I'm sure they've been adapted to some degree, but like I think in spirit they're all in that sort of way.
Cool.
And certainly the dialogue from the trailer was actually from World War One letters.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the basis of the trailer,
okay.
And that was also the setup to what the game was about.
So I didn't know that one.
Yeah, so as we said before, it was using the UV engine. So that's
pretty looking game.
Pretty nice little graphics, like really cutesy, but also like it has
it's charming. It's very charming.
Charming, but also it denotes a deeper meaning because of the actual context.
Sure,
of it,
yeah.
Which is really, really interesting. So this is one of my must-watch games for the next whatever.
Well, I don't think they gave a date. If they have, I'm not sure when it's coming out. Sorry.
Hopefully soon. There was a bunch to show, so
hopefully it can't be too far. I mean, Child of Light just came out this year.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if it comes out, it'll be a downloadable game. Obviously. Hopefully coming out later this year. It's one of those games I think.
Hopefully early.
Yeah, if whenever it comes out, and whatever it comes out on, I think it's a game. I think you probably want to play. Just by sitting down playing it. I don't know how long. If it's anything like Child of Light, 12 hours potentially, which is I think it's a good time.
4 characters, you could play it out.
Potentially it's longer. Yeah, potentially it's longer. I mean, like, do you get to play as a dog? I hope so. Oh my god, that dog.
The dog gameplay.
Oh, I mean, it's so sad that trailer. Yeah. Like at the end, like the dogs on the grave.
Yeah, the graves of the 4.
Oh, was it all 4? Or was
I think
one
so.
of them.
Just a bunch of graves.
Oh man, so sad. So sad.
Yeah, but that's a very interesting game.
Valiant Heart's one of probably within the top 10 anticipated games for us, I guess.
Yeah,
we'll
definitely. Yeah, it's probably like number 2 for me.
Oh wow! See, there you go. Valiant Hearts, check it out. Find it on YouTube. Read previews of it.
Stop masturbating about it now. We'll move on to Rainbow Six.
Yeah, so Ubisoft recently, as I was saying before, end on a high note. Something that not anyone's really expecting. Like Watch Dogs was unexpected. The Division was unexpected. Rainbow Six, known franchise. Known IP, franchise for Ubisoft.
Yep.
Another Tom Clancy game. But no one expected this type of Rainbow Six game.
Yep.
Rainbow Six
I didn't see a whole lot of that, so pass over to you.
I'm trying to think what the old there was another Rainbow Six game that was in development that got cancelled, or that no one knew if it had been cancelled.
Okay.
It hadn't been shown for at least 2 or 3 years, I think.
So you think it might be turned into this?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people have been saying on the internet, like, this game, whatever the old Rainbow Six game has been turned into this. But I think which is good. I think this Rainbow Six game looks awesome. It's they showed off a multiplayer demo. It's like if you played any other old Rainbow Six game, it's like as a team you work to infiltrate a certain building for an objective. Like this gameplay demo showed 4 characters, obviously different classes. Like one's a heavy gunner, or one's got a shotgun, one's got a shield, and all that stuff. They showed infiltrating a house to trying to save this woman hostage from whoever, terrorists, whatever it is, or a rogue Rainbow Six team or something like that. It showed very much Rainbow Six-esque gameplay, like cover, base shooter.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like if you've seen Rainbow Six before, it reminded you of old Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
I think
so cool. It's just another Rainbow Six. That's good.
I think like
it's showing some promising features.
It's a different shooter that's coming out as well.
Yeah, which is good.
It's touted for 2015. Don't know an exact date, but next year sometime.
Yeah.
Also, was awesome. They showed destructible environments. They set like one section of the game, like you have to breach a room. At the same time, I did like the teams of 5, and then every time a teammate was eliminated, would like obviously that it became harder. There's only like 2, 3 of you, 4, 2 of you, 1 of you. But like towards the end, it became you had to breach a room, so one team would infiltrate from the level of the hostage and the enemy, and one person destroyed a wall to get in a room above the other room.
Yep.
Blew up the floor, so then everyone breached at the same time.
Hey, cool. Okay.
And at the same time, they were using voice chat, very scripted voice chat.
Oh yeah, very scripted, just like Division.
Yeah, this is very scripted voice chat. Like if you haven't heard it, it's like they were talking like. They were pros. They sounded like they were pros, or had been recorded after. But like they were saying like, "Yeah, I've got this. 3 breach on 3, 2, 1." Like, no one talks like breach.
It wasn't a live demo, was it?
Don't think it was a live demo. I can't really remember, but they just showed this. And then it looked cool. Like the objective of the game was to get as the good Rainbow Six was to obviously save this hostage.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's cool. Like if that's the only aspect, if it's only multiplayer, I'm interested. Like, will these like be? You can do this single player with AI. Like in the old Rainbow Six, you could do things with 3 other AI.
Oh, cool.
And you can control
them around. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I assume that's probably what's going to happen with this new Rainbow Six.
Yep. So 2015.
That was a good way for Ubisoft, I think, to end. Something not everyone expected. It was it wasn't a strong like surprise like Watch Dogs or even The Division.
But it was a strong ending, stronger than Microsoft.
Like Microsoft probably had the weakest ending. They had a good conference. EA had a good conference. I think everyone's had a good conference.
Goodish.
Yeah.
Moving on to that wraps it up. And now we get to Sony.
Yes, Sony was the last on day 0 of E3.
And then day 1 first up was Nintendo, wasn't it?
But so we'll move on to Sony.
Yep.
Everyone, I guess, was interested to see how Sony would respond to Microsoft's games.
Yep.
Especially coming off last year, where Sony literally knockout punches with, the price is $100 cheaper than an Xbox One. You don't have to. It'll always be online.
Yeah.
So Sony this year, I think, was very anticipated how strong they would be.
Sony last year was a lot like, here's all the numbers, here's all the info. Suck it, Xbox, we're better than you.
No numbers. Not numbers, because there's no numbers yet.
I meant more like the actual specs of the systems and stuff. Like
sure.
And the price points.
Price was always like $100 in the States. In the States, it's $100. $100 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's in the States is nearly 2 games.
Yeah. So that was the attitude of the last E3. This E3, I was hoping that they'd just drop it and just do their own games. Like they know that Microsoft's going to come up with a lot of games.
I mean, like Sony
just do your own. They did that, but they sort of hung on to the sort of mentality of
we'll get to that.
Here's all the stats and here's all.
We'll get to that part
so much
section
better.
later.
Yeah, we'll get that part better. Yeah. Later,
but
they still had that sort of vitriol in there, and
So Sony opened with really their counterpunch to Microsoft's Call of Duty
was
Destiny. Activision's other game, Bungie, developing this one.
Yeah,
developing this one.
Deving.
So they showed off a trailer to start it off. I can't remember if they're showing gameplay, but I think it was like gameplay trailer.
Gameplay trailer.
Sure. So they showed off that stuff. Destiny looks cool. Going off that, more excited for Destiny now.
Yep.
I didn't think I would be.
Okay.
I think it looks cooler.
Yeah.
It's like we discussed.
I'm trying to disconnect from Destiny a little bit, just so I don't get overhyped.
Yeah, sure. That's like for me. I haven't been hyped enough at all with Destiny. Really. I've been kind of like looking. Oh, Destiny's made by Halo, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it looks cool. Like, cool trailer. I think like if you loved Halo shooting, you'll love Destiny. If you love whatever the MMORPG things are in there, I think people will like that as well. I think the quests and
so Destiny is multiplat, but it's been sort of like adapted to be a Sony
and not maybe
primary Sony sort of thing.
I think a lot of stuff's coming, like we were talking about exclusive content. A lot of exclusive stuff's coming to Sony first.
Okay,
only on Sony. So.
And that's the next point here, which is that
exclusive PlayStation stuff. Like,
was it timed or just too exclusive?
I don't know if it's. I think there was stuff for launch that'd be exclusive to Sony. I see, could be timed.
It's very timed as well. But it was very much. Destiny is a multiplat thing, but Sony is very much,
like they've really got Destiny in their corner. Where
Yeah.
I guess like Microsoft,
which I think they need. That's like
they need a big franchise to put like.
That's one of the biggest, like the highest profile games in the last year, I think.
Yeah,
so
Destiny's been touted as being one of the biggest games
with that sort of weight. Yeah, that was the only thing that
especially with the weight coming off. Oh, we're Bungie who made Halo.
Yeah,
you know us for that.
Yeah.
So. I mean,
both Call of Duty and Destiny are both multiplat, but it's
both Activision games.
Yeah, both Activision games, but it's Microsoft and Sony trying to get their sway over it, which is a bit silly.
No, I think it like in console wars. We don't want to get into that, but I mean it kind of not fuels the fire, but like it really shows that it's like there needs to be like a disconnect from like it's like people probably think, I can only play Destiny on PlayStation, but no, you can play it on Xbox One. You can play it on even last gen consoles, really.
Yeah, I really dislike console wars in general because it sort of detracts from the game, and especially when developers and the people who put it on their platform sort of like make their version better or change in different ways. I'm very much a believer in games being games, and the content that is in the games makes them what they are. And if they change that, it's just going to be a different experience for everyone. And I don't really like that. I don't really like that, they're keeping content from other people and stuff like that. But it happens, and that's the only way that they can really get their sway over certain games.
Yeah. They also announced, I think, exclusive beta to Sony. This is PlayStation 4. Coming out July 17th.
Exclusive beta.
I think they were having an alpha this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I signed up for that. I haven't heard anything back yet. Damn it. Releasing September 9th, so it's quite early in all of the kerfuffle of all the other games.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's good for Destiny. It's a new IP at the same time, but I think they get their foot in the door and they just like dominate
drain their wallets early before Microsoft
and dominate realistically that first part of fall.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be like,
"Oh, it will!" Like when it drops,
I think so.
Definitely.
I mean, it's supposed to be this big open game, so a lot of time will be sunk into it. So.
Yeah, and then when it comes out, it'll be bundled with a white PS4 as well.
That was cool. I thought the white PS4 looked really nice.
I want a white PS4 now. I don't want it to wait for Destiny.
I mean, like you get Destiny with it.
True.
And the white PS4 looked really cool. I mean, I just put that as a small note because like, I didn't expect a new console like iteration. I mean, it's only white, but I mean,
yeah,
it's whatever. Another thing that Sony showed off, new IP for Sony, the Order 1886, they showed a gameplay demo.
Yeah, they did.
I think the gameplay looks solid.
Solid, yeah. It's
solid
just
third-person game.
And it was sort of intertwined with a lot of cinematics.
Yeah, like I said, I wrote down, the cinematic, it's going for a more cinematic feel,
I hope,
you can tell when you're in certain games, you can really easily tell that you've gone into a cutscene. This is you casually get into a cutscene. Obviously, you lose control of the camera and things like that. Yeah. But I mean, the HUD is so minimalistic in the game. It's just showing ammo.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
That's it. And then it would fluidly go into a cutscene. I thought, that looked cool. I mean,
it looked cool, yeah. But I hope that's not reflective of the entire game. I hope it's not a movie game. I don't want it to be a movie game. I want it to be a game.
I think it's still going to be an action third-person game.
I'm sure it won't. Just
I think the certain section they showed off was a very
I think that was just a tailored for E3 section.
Yeah. I think it looks good. Looked like it was running better than it did previously.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than it was.
So coming out delayed to 2015.
Yep.
See when in 2015 that comes out. I think
2015.
A lot of games coming out in the next year.
I'd say early 2015. All these games that are being touted for 2015 wouldn't be out later than...
I wouldn't say later than
April.
July,
April, yeah.
I mean, what if they even push it a whole year back, really?
Yeah,
So, that could be a good or bad thing, I don't know.
Yeah. And then one of the smaller games that was maybe shown at the Sony conference was Entwined.
Entwined, I thought this was a very charming looking game.
Made by a bunch of people out of, I think, the University in England.
I thought it was the States.
States? Yeah.
Regardless, the team is broken up into different sections.
Oh, okay, right.
Or different places, I think. Like I was saying with
Green Heart Games?
Whoever did some other game, I forgot what we talked about.
Anyway, but yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Anyway, it's a smaller studio. This is their first game, and it's very interesting that they actually decided to put it on the main stage. Like that was a big deal.
Like a small indie game. Not many small indie games are getting big stage presence in, but I think Sony are doing.
Sony
were the first really to do it last year at E3 really to have. I mean, Limbo's been out, but with the new generation of console, I think.
Yeah. I'm actually also surprised that. Actually, no, I'm not surprised at all. That Sony's sort of embracing the sort of like spiritual game sort of side of things.
Yeah,
where, you know how Journey was released, that sort of very spiritual sort of feeling, because like feeling sort of game. And then they released.
This is another one.
This is another one. This is one that's very cute, like aesthetics, which is very flowing and very ephemeral, very very interesting, sort of colourful,
very calming game.
Yeah, I'm glad they're sort of embracing that as sort of like a Sony thing. Like they have the big games, but they also have like very soulful experiences.
Which is good. I think they need that. I think. Yeah. I mean, Entwine showed a bit of gameplay. They had people on stage showing you control two characters with one analog stick each.
Yeah,
which I think is a very interesting way of gameplay. I haven't obviously played it. One thing that was amazing, they said the game was out now.
Yeah, that's great.
Of the day of the conference on Tuesday for us, they said, "Oh, the game's out." One thing, the game is out right now, and you can download it on PSN. Maybe not straight away, but like within the day, the game was out on PSN. It's on PSN now in Australia for $12, $10 in the US. So I'm happy that it hasn't been radically increased for Australia. Like $3, I'm happy. I will easily pay that.
Yeah, definitely.
For that.
Like that's really good. I think they're really tapping into like, oh, this is available right now. That's
an
like
amazing
a hype generating thing. Like,
that's an amazing.
Imagine like it's all well and good to have a big game announced. That's 2015. And then another game like, oh, this might not be as big as the other ones, but it looks really nice. It's out right now. Like that's.
I think it's good. Like if they're getting it out right now, means like at the moment, realistically,
them so much traffic.
Realistically, there's not enough. Yeah, exactly. There's not enough things out now to play.
Yeah, I wonder how they got that deal. Jeez.
I think they either help Sony either is involved with that studio or something.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was a little gem for me from Sony, even from all of E3. I think it was awesome. I think it's out now.
I'm very glad it's there.
If you have a PS4, go on PSN, find Entwine, download it right now. $12. I haven't played it yet, but it looks cool.
So you downloaded it?
I haven't downloded it. I only just saw it on the store this morning.
Yeah, so you're going to get it?
I'll probably get it, yeah.
Cool. And then after that was Infamous First Light.
Infamous First Light.
Was that the exclusive DLC, like standalone DLC for...
Standalone DLC for Infamous, so you don't have to own Second Son.
Yeah.
Which is good because I traded that game in. Because I platinumed that game.
Yeah.
So I don't need to play it anymore. Okay. But I'm happy they...
made it
one thing I'm happy to say, they said it's a standalone DLC, so I didn't have to own the game anymore. As well, it's Fetch. Fetch was one of the side characters in Second Son. She had the neon power.
Alright.
She had you kind of heard about her backstory. I think this DLC is very much showing her story up until you meet Delson, which is another character in Second Son. I think that looks cool. I think if it's 3 or 4 hours for $20-something, I'll probably get it.
Yeah.
I liked it from the Second Son. I think that's a cool world. I think it's awesome they're expanding on it.
Yeah, it looks really impressive. I liked it.
And it's coming out later this year in August. I didn't say a specific date, but August sometime.
That's the closest game that's going to come out from any of these conferences. That's not inspired. So it's good. Then after that,
something like that was I didn't expect. We'll try to race through this. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Going through it for a while, but I mean, they as soon as the lights went out for the lights came back on, logo for Little Big Planet 3, didn't expect this at all.
Yeah, then boom, just gameplay in your face.
Gameplay, and another thing, not developed by Media Molecule that did the first 2 games.
No?
Sumo Digital.
Okay.
Whole new studio, because Media Molecule said they no longer want to work on Little Big Planet, which I think is fair enough. They did Little Big Planet 1 and 2, and they did Tearaway on the Vita.
Yeah, they did.
Tearaway was apparently a critically acclaimed game.
Oh, Tearaway is one of the better games on Vita.
So I don't have a Vita. So.
But yeah, this looks really cute, really nice. Like
they introduced 3 new characters along with Sackboy. Oddsock.
Oh yeah,
Toggle.
There's Oddsock, which is the dog. Toggle, which was the bigger one, and the flying one.
I forget the flying.
The bird. So basically,
there was a bird character.
Basically, it's just like different mechanics for you to play with.
Yeah, they've from the gameplay demo they showed at the Sony conference. They showed certain characters can only do certain things. Yeah. Like Toggle was the one who could
change his weight,
and but he could use his weight to like leverage the level. Like certain platforms were not too big for certain. Yeah,
he's the only ones that can press like bigger buttons or push bigger things out of the way, or like withstand like fans being blown at you.
And it showed also the 4 characters now. They show different paths for each character to get to an episode.
Yeah,
like so the bird could easily fly through, but like Toggle would have to switch his size to get through certain parts, and like Sackboy would just normally climb up, and then the dog would like free run its way up through the level. I think like a new Little Big Planet game I think is good. Very unexpected for me. I didn't expect this at all.
No?
Especially because not anytime soon, because like especially with Media Molecule not saying they're working on it anymore.
Yeah, true. I didn't know that Media Molecule wasn't working on it, so I was actually expecting something pretty soon, if not.
Because Media Molecule said they're not going to be at E3.
Right.
They weren't going to be at E3.
Okay.
So that, and another thing that kind of threw me off, it's coming out this year, 2014 November.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know how. And one minor thing, they said all maps. Because Little Big Planet is about creating stuff more or less. All the stuff created from Little Big Planet 1 and 2 will be
able to import into the new game.
Number 3, which
is great.
That's a cool thing.
Yeah. And like as always, Little Big Planet was always about the single player mode, which is nice and cute, and then little puzzles. But also like
this is another thing where like you have a game maker.
It's extremely in depth. It's extremely customizable.
In depth.
You can do a lot of stuff with it. It's almost like Spark in that regards, where you can sort of put like motors and little switches and electrical components in the level, and then attach things to them, and like you can make racing games, you can make different types of like modes and stuff like that. So it's very customizable. That's something I really liked about Little Big Planet.
Moving on, Bloodborne. From Software, the guys that made Demon's Souls.
From
Software.
I think this was what they were touting as Project Beast.
Yep. Definitely. I think.
So
we just saw a trailer.
Cinematic trailer.
Looks very gory.
Yeah, very grimdark. So it's basically a westernized Dark or Demon's Souls, I guess.
They didn't show much. They didn't say really like from the leak footage. It looked like a third-person action game.
Yeah,
slash stuff. But
hey, if it's from and they've got that sort of thing, and it's a single-player focused game, that might be interesting.
I think it'll be cool. I think slightly off topic. Sony should have. Because Demon's Souls is exclusively only on PlayStation. Yeah. So I think if they could have kept that partnership, like for even Dark Souls, that would have been a good coup for them.
Oh wow, yeah. If they had that,
if that was only available on PlayStation, not on because Dark Souls 2 I know is available on Xbox and PC.
It was up from though.
Yeah. So I mean, like that'd been cool for like Sony, but 2015 looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
From a cinematic, we don't know. Yeah. We'll probably see more later. It's From Software. Japanese developer, or they?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll probably see more of that at TGS, I assume.
Yeah, later in the year.
We talked about Far Cry 4. That was shown next.
Yep.
Trailer from Dead Island 2.
Yeah, one of my favorite.
When I saw that, because it said Deep Silver, I thought it was Daylight, their other zombie-ish game.
Okay.
I thought, this is Daylight. No, this is Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2, no.
Dead Island, I enjoyed the first Dead Island. It was very bugged. Yeah. Very buggy game. But,
but yeah,
I just called it
really good.
Yeah, it was very funny. The guy was running down
the street and
running down Venice Beach. It's based on like a real world location on California beach.
And Aaron Paul and Jack Black, killed him in the truck and took his.
That wasn't Aaron Paul and Jack Black,
wasn't it? It sounded exactly like.
I don't know.
I think the guy driving the truck was Aaron Paul, and then
I don't know. The guy they didn't really show, but like I mean,
that'd be great if it was.
Weird. So they showed that. PlayStation exclusive 30-day beta, whenever that is, sometime.
Yeah.
The trailer was kind of fun. It was a funny trailer. I don't know if... For me, I'm kind of over, like, zombie games.
Yeah.
Like, this type of, like, third person. Like, I enjoy the first one. I don't know if I want to play the second one.
Wasn't the intro to that guy who was, like, standing on stage, like, and we heard a lot of letters from people who wanted zombies, so here you go. I'm like... Who writes letters about wanting zombies anymore?
Well, we'll get on to... Hopefully I wrote that down somewhere. That's coming up. I mean, like, I forget his name. Andy House, I think, was one of the. There's an Andy House. I think he was doing Andrew House. Sorry, I
think
he was going on about like the stories they got from people, like talking about the zombies. We went from Dead Island to Diablo 3.
Yep.
Not zombies in that, but I mean they were talking about the Last of Us monsters appearing in Diablo 3.
It's interesting.
Interesting enough. Battlefield Hardline, a short trailer of that. Blah. Magicka 2 was announced, I guess.
Yeah, and
it was a funny. Did you see the trailer?
The trailer was great for that. Yeah,
the trailer was amazing. It was showing like one of the wizards down on his luck, no longer having a job because Magicka one's obviously been over for ages.
Yeah,
and then it went into like an ad in the newspaper saying, we need new wizards or whatever for Magicka 2.
Yeah,
and then like show gameplay trailer, more or less the same from Magicka 1. I didn't play a lot of Magicka 1, but it looked like a fun game.
Yeah,
I played it like a cool game.
Charming trailer. It was. Interesting reveal, looked really nice. It's going to get a lot of sales. And then after that,
we moved on to. I think a lot of people probably caught off like they going with the Andrew House.
Massively, dude.
Going with the Andrew House thing. If it's not Andrew House, I'm so sorry, Sony. He came up with a letter from a little girl saying I'm 10, and then I'm 12.
Yeah, it was a letter that was actually written by Tim Schafer.
It was Tim Schafer.
They played it out to be like, this little girl wrote it, and then
the letter was like,
zoom out a little bit more, and then it showed a beard like holding the
zoom out more,
and then zoom out more as Tim Schafer holding a letter.
The whole deal was like, I don't know. I think it was Disney have the rights to all his early Double Fine games.
Yeah,
and now that Sony has partnering with Disney. Sony got some kind of agreement that will try and remake these games.
Yeah,
and the game that's coming out of that is. I would never expected this come. Grim Fandango.
Yeah, Grim Fandango remake,
which is quite amazing.
In HD, PS4, PS Vita.
Yeah, Vita, PS4 first. I think Vita eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how they're working that out.
That's right.
But it's.
So that blew up so much. I
didn't expect that to happen. I
was watching the live stream.
I was thinking Tim Schafer, a new Double Fine game or like a second episode to Broken Age or whatever it was that he's been working on. But I mean, I didn't expect Grim Fandango to be on the stage.
Not at all. I'm very excited for that.
Which was cool. Moving towards Sony showed off a slew of indie games from Devolver.
Yeah, Devolver. I've actually funded a lot of different little developers to make games.
And we'll just rattle off the names: Broforce, Titan Souls, Not a Hero, Hotline Miami 2, and the
Talos Prophecy.
I don't know what the rest. I wrote the Talos
Prophecy Principle. Talos Principle.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So that looked really interesting. It's like a very philosophical.
And most of these games are all. I don't want to say 8-bit, but like they're all retro art games. Yeah,
all the ones except for Talos Principle.
Yeah, that was a bit more like.
That was like a. Yeah, it's sort of like if you had Encarta and turned that into a game.
Sure. Yeah, but like, more or less, all the other games were retro art games. Pixel art, that's what I was looking for. Yeah. They're all pixel art games.
Yeah, so I've actually played Broforce, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And Hotline Miami 2, everyone watched that, of course.
I mean, everyone, critically acclaimed Hotline Miami 1.
And those are exclusive for PS4, are they?
For maybe timed, or...
I'm not sure, I think...
Well, I imagine, Broforce is on PC, yeah?
Yeah.
Hotline Miami is going to be on PC, so
yeah,
I'm guessing it's like PC and PlayStation only.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Another indie game, Let It Die.
Suda 51. That looked interesting.
What was it? I can't remember what it was. Was it a fighting game?
That was the one where it's sort of like a post-apocalyptic-esque sort of thing.
Was it a fighting game? It was a fighting game.
It was a fighting game, yeah. Basically, it's like realistic trailer of like someone gruesomely like beating up people, and then like arbitrary like HUD showing up with their health bars and stuff like that. And then like he picks up like a bloody machete from what the person just had that he killed, and it showed like attack power plus 15 stuff like that. So it looks like a very grim and very like a violent game, but then also it's got like really funny little quirky like gaming abstractions over the top of it, and it looked like it was multiplayer because like there was sort of like
I mean if it's a fighting game, it's got to be a multiplayer game.
So that's that's all we were shown. It looked interesting enough. It's Suda 51.
Yeah.
Cool.
Another indie game. Abzu.
Ah, yes. Okay.
I'll let you go all about this one, Shane.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that game company. Journey and Flow and Flower and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, like, going off that, like, sorry, but like, that game company make awesome games.
They do, yeah.
I personally didn't play, I played Flow, I didn't play Flower.
Okay.
But I played
Journey.
Okay. But you really only have to play that game once.
Yeah, you do.
And then I didn't touch it ever again.
I played it maybe a total of 3 or 4 times, just so I can get the white cloak and sort of that sort of stuff.
Like, I played like Journey once, and that game just is so
beautiful.
So beautiful. It's the story it tells is no words are spoken. I don't think no words are ever spoken in the game. But like
the only word that is ever shown on screen is actually the word journey.
Yeah,
I did a paper on that actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I mean, like that game was amazing, and like Abzu, like you can talk about that. Like former people worked on Journey on that.
Basically, what happened is that at the end of the development of Journey, for whatever reason, I don't think there was any sort of like hard feelings or anything, but the main artists, a few designers, and the composer from that game company broke off to make a game company called Giant Squid, and this is their first game called Abzu. Of course, since it's the same main artist, it looks similar.
Art style's very similar. Yeah.
Very similar. It's like a little a deep world sort of game. There wasn't much shown. Underwater, yeah. Mostly. Because Abzu, I think they showed it in the actual trailer. Ab is like life and zoo equals water or something like that. So
they defined those words. Whatever.
But yeah, basically it looks like a water adventure game. But there was only a clip shown. There wasn't any gameplay or any sort of.
I think it was a gameplay. It was like not gameplay trailer. It was just more like a trailer.
Cinematic-ish. So it shows off the art style.
I'm saying it was all in-engine. Stuff.
It looked like it. Yeah.
But it had nothing to do. Well, I mean, like if you watched a trailer of Journey, you wouldn't know what Journey.
No, of course not. So it was that sort of vein. Yeah. So it's pretty. It's there. It's very exciting. We don't know anything about it. So I guess we'll see when we play it.
We don't know when it's coming out.
When it does come out, I'm getting it. That's all I know.
What if it's a PS4 only game?
I'll buy a PS4.
Good.
And then
another big indie hit.
Oh man,
No Man's Sky. Holy shit, this game looks bloody amazing.
I did not know the status of No Man's Sky after
we saw it last year.
Remember the flood thing that happened and the Hello Games got wiped out and they apparently lost a lot of...
Well, I mean, this is a 4-man team, I think.
Okay, right.
4 to 10 man.
But anyway, there's a big story about ages ago where the developers got flooded out.
We saw No Man's Sky for the first time at the end of last year at the VGXs, which is like the Video Game Awards thing.
Did we?
Yeah, that's when they first announced it.
But yeah, then the actual gameplay trailer was shown.
Oh my god!
In this one, oh man,
looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really very interested about it. They didn't show a whole lot past.
They didn't really explain anything. They just showed it.
There was
was good.
I think there was a narrator that sort of like went through and that said.
Oh, there was like a guy. One of the devs was there and he explained it. I think, but I mean, like in terms.
That's right.
But in terms of like the trailer was just showing, you're walking through like a forest. One thing, the game looks stunning. It's a very unique art style.
I think, definitely.
I don't know how to describe it as, really.
It's extremely vibrant and neon.
Yes.
Sort of like stylish sort of thing. It's sort of like a very something that if the people who like Matt Navarre, the guy who made the Journey artwork, the main artist, took ecstasy and then did
Good.
It's simplistic. There's like
don't do drugs.
Very no, don't do drugs. There's like not many lines, but a lot of bright colours and very
lots
bright,
of different
large definition,
yeah,
like shapes and stuff like that. So it's very unique in its art style and very
like the gameplay
colourful.
showed you walk into your ship, which looks like a Star Wars ship, TIE fighter thing.
Yeah,
kind of. Not really a TIE fighter, but like a ship.
Yeah.
And then you would fly into space. It seems like it's an open world game, so anyone can join anyone, I guess. You can interact with other players.
There wasn't a whole lot of things shown, but
I'm assuming because you're playing with other ships, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming either they were AI or they were other players.
I think it was a lot of players, and you got to fight AI in space.
To fight, yeah, and
like they showed a little bit of that. And
showed
then,
space. Like one thing was like people were like just teleporting into like
like
interstellar
destructible asteroids and stuff like that. You're flying through asteroid fields to get to other planets.
It looks amazing.
My theory about what the game will basically be is it looks like what's been shown is that it's a drop-in, drop-out co-op thing, and when you start a game, you're in a single-player sort of like server, I guess, and people can join your server and then explore with you. It's like Minecraft in space. It looks similar to that, and I hope that the gameplay is more than Minecraft in space.
And to the extent, I hope it's just like you're in an open where you can do whatever you want. I hope there's an objective.
Yeah, because
like for me, I need an objective.
Because the only things that we've seen from this game is just like explore procedurally, infinite.
That's another thing. Procedural world.
But yeah, it's good to have a procedural generated world, but that doesn't make a game. So I hope they actually have a game with it.
Sure. Another thing they said at the conference, well, I think it's pretty cool. Like it's a small thing, but like. Every time a new player starts a game, they always start on a new planet. No, not one player starts on the same planet.
Yeah,
which I think is amazing. Like how they're doing this I mean, it's a bigger team now.
Yeah,
but like the concept was like 4 guys that have come up with this game. And
yeah,
like, I think it's an amazing feat for indie. Like it shows like No Man's Sky is like this small game is getting all this attention. I think it was awesome to have it on the Sony.
With like small indie teams, there's a lot of push to go towards procedurally generated or randomly generated things, just to sort of like get that content out there, because they're not the same size or the same budget as bigger teams. Yeah, they can just sort of handcraft all that sort of stuff. Like compare something like Transistor, which was all handcrafted, to something like Binding of Isaac, which was all randomly generated, and rooms, stuff like that, and roguelike sort of gameplay. So that's sort of like where indies are starting to turn, because it's sort of like infinite sort of possibilities and replay value.
I think for an indie, especially because like it's procedural, that means like I'm guessing that means they're making stuff constantly.
Procedural. If it's a procedural world, it basically means that it follows algorithms to spawn different worlds.
That's what I mean. Like they've had to have made this content for it to spawn.
So basically, they make all the assets, and they make an algorithm to determine which asset should be spawned next.
That must be a lot of content.
And they go out in all 3 dimensions in a galaxy. Yeah. So that's the scale of it. So we'll see how it goes.
Massive scale for a small team, I think.
Yeah.
Going to probably the lull, the low point of the Sony conference is when they.
We should probably just cherry pick a few of these.
I don't know. We'll just run through the dot points. Really, I'll just go through that quickly.
So Morpheus was mentioned.
YouTube's going to be coming to PS4.
25 plus free to play games. I'll actually play a few of these free to play games. PlanetSide 2 loadout. Kingdoms Under Fire. So a bunch of MMO FPS or MMO action games which are on PC right now are coming exclusively to PS4.
Another one that's still available is DC Universe Online.
Yes.
Which I've heard is pretty good.
Then there's PS Now.
US stuff, not really relating to us, but if you know what PlayStation Now is, renting games over the internet, it's coming to the States in beta form July 31st.
And it's also got a bunch of cloud gaming sort of like applications.
Quickly to get on PlayStation, I think it's a cool thing. Like, if you have Sony TVs are compatible with PlayStation Now, all you have to buy is a DualShock 3.
Yeah.
So a PS3 controller, and you'll be able to play PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2 games on your TV. No console involved.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure how PS Now
is a streaming service, basically.
I think it's pretty cool. I think that's awesome.
That's where the industry was moving, and Sony's on it first. So that's interesting. Like, it's definitely not showy and everything like right now, so not everyone is interested about it, but it's a big step, and you'll be seeing more of it. And then after that, there's stuff like PS TV, which lets you stream to other places in the house and stuff like that.
Lets you play Vita games on your
Vita games, and so it's like a big cross-platform sort of thing.
Sony are really attacking
cross-platform and whole house playing.
Like when Microsoft was saying the living room is the main focus, and like the Xbox.
Sony's going everywhere.
Yeah, they're trying to anyway.
Sony's in your closet. Sony's in your bed.
Nope. I don't know what they call it in bed, but
in your bed.
Well, I guess if you hold
under the bed.
Yep. Vita. They really didn't show any Vita stuff.
No, they said
that's hundreds of games in development.
But like, they didn't touch on it. They really...
All they said for the major Vita announcements, like Minecraft is coming to Vita.
Yeah,
and
great.
That's about it.
Good. What is that now? It's like a 6-year-old game.
Still making bulk money though. They also went into...
They've actually sold only on PC alone 20 million copies.
See, that's ridiculous. That's one of the best-selling Xbox 360 games still.
Yeah.
So like... But anyway, I mean, like, moving. Sony showed off some TV stuff, which was, I was disappointed they showed this.
They showed
not disappointed in terms of like we saw what Microsoft did last year.
It doesn't need many 3 like stage.
No, this is like GDC.
This is GDC. This isn't even that. This is just like a random announcement they could just make on YouTube or something.
And they
dedicated 15-20 minutes to just talking about
some
a TV
guy came
show.
out and talked about we're making a TV show. If you have PlayStation Plus, you can watch it for free the first episode.
If not, it's like $20. I don't know.
But I mean,
but who cares? Really, who cares? Don't talk about TV shows.
I'm not interested to watch the TV show on my PlayStation.
Yeah. And then they announced after that the Ratchet & Clank movie, which I was actually...
Well, they've already announced it. They showed a trailer for it.
Yeah, they did show another trailer.
Showed a trailer for it, saying it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
I assume that means we'll see a new Ratchet & Clank game soon. Or an original one, a HD remake for PS4.
Well, I don't think Ratchet & Clank is done yet. There's definitely more in the franchise to be made. But they didn't... I don't know how close that would be. Because I know Insomniac Games are making a bunch of different things.
But could you see... I think it would make sense if
after Sunset Overdrive, I can definitely see more.
But that's probably a different. That's probably Insomniac's probably big enough to have separate teams though. So I could assume
they have 2 teams right now.
So I assume that second team possibly could working on
the Ratchet & Clank
game, maybe. I hope. Align itself with the Ratchet & Clank movie.
If they do, it will be another.
That'd be easy money. That'd be easy money. You know, like.
I mean, the second team was the team that made All for One.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No, I don't buy that game.
So, I didn't mind it. I actually bought it.
No, did you?
Just because it is Ratchet & Clank. But
fair enough.
We talked about that last podcast, I think. But anyway, they made it with the Ratchet IP, but they didn't
it's not the original team, so it didn't have the same sort of vision. But if they
movie trailer was...
if they have another mainline Ratchet game with like the original team, I'm excited. But we won't know anything about that. This is all speculation.
Yeah. So moving on back to the games. Good. I think Sony ended strongly with games.
Very strongly.
They showed off at least 5-6 games. Yep. Not all gameplay trailers and stuff like that, but 6 good games. They started with Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
First gameplay we've seen of it since it announced a week ago or so.
Mortal Kombat X, which looks really good. Like, it looks really interesting. It's the same sort of like bone breaking.
They showed the X-ray. The X-ray stuff seems to be more part of the game, not gameplay, but I guess it's more involved in the game.
More involved. I hope there's a slider for that, because I can imagine like that would get annoying after a little while.
Yeah, just the last Mortal Kombat. Because that was a certain move you would do, like after you build up your special or whatever, you could do an X-ray.
Okay, right.
But it's not. It's different to like your fatalities and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
So,
but yeah, it looked really good. There was a bunch of new characters shown, like the Bug Lady and like the big brute with the girl on his shoulders.
I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are.
No idea who they are. They're new characters.
But they obviously show Scorpion and
Sub-Zero fighting. Yep. So
that was
we've already
cool.
seen that a little bit. There was just a little bit excited.
That was a CG trailer they showed. This is obviously
this is in game. Yeah, they showed the in-game version of the CG trailer.
Yeah, essentially, and that looked pretty cool. I think I'm not a massive fighting fan. I did get the last Mortal Kombat, but that was like a cheap game. But I'm not a massive fan. But I'm sure Mortal Kombat will go well.
Yeah, it's cool. Even more gruesome than usual. Good,
devastating gameplay, I thought. But just rattling off the names before we get to realistically a couple big things towards the end, like The Last of Us Remastered. We all knew this was coming. They finally gave it a date, July 29th. So it's only a month and a bit away. I think that's good. Like for lots of people that probably jumped on PS, they maybe essentially people that didn't have a PlayStation 3 but had 360 and jumped on PS4. This is a good way for them to play one of the best games on PlayStation 3. Yeah. Or one of the best games. Yeah, essentially one of the best games that was on PlayStation 3 will become one of the best games on PS4.
Yeah.
I'm not. I was thinking about getting this game. I don't know if I will now. I have played The Last of Us already. I don't know if I want to play it again, but I don't know. If I'm bored around July,
I'm glad I didn't buy the PS3 version because I knew the PS4 version.
Yeah, it was heavily touted coming.
So I'm gonna get a PS4. I'll pick this up. It'll probably be the better experience.
Oh, yeah. The Last of Us on PS3 looked amazing because it was pushing that hardware to the absolute limit. But
now it's even more boosted. So
something that we didn't see at all until the Sony conference was Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yes.
Phantom Pain. Kojima, they showed a new trailer. So confusing. I don't understand what's going on.
Don't you? Do you follow Metal Gear
I'm
Solid?
not a big Metal Gear fan.
Well, the main arc that's going on is that...
is this a prequel to the other some other games?
No, it's past. So
that's what I mean, so that means
it's continuing the storyline. So basically, this storyline that it's continuing is that Snake, throughout all the games, has been turning from the hero to the villain, and this is his path into darkness. This is the game where this sort of culminates in. I believe. I'm not massively close to the story, but that's just what I've been seeing. The game looks really, really good. It's sort of like
I think it was all engine stuff.
Coming off from Ground Zeroes, looks really, really good. So if it's anything like that, it'll be good, but then also it's gigantic open world and stuff like that, which is what I'm very interested in, which is the other stuff that was announced before this whole thing. But yeah, the trailer was really good. In Kojima tradition, it was very, very symbolic. Very, lots of little hints that everyone's unraveling right now, like the different cross symbolism and like the mask of like dust on the face, which
I didn't get that.
Didn't you? Or basically, he wants to bring his comrades back into war with him to share their vengeance because
he put their ashes on his face.
He put the ashes on his face, and he's also going a little bit insane and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
But also, if you there's a bunch of different clues in the trailer which point to a certain verse in the Bible, which says something like and I saw the devil coming, so I spread ashes on my face and pulled my cloth down above my forehead, and that's his iconic bandana and the ashes he just put on his face. So there's a bunch of different biblical references and symbolism, so that's always good Kojima stuff that you get to just love. But yeah, that was a good trailer, and I'm excited to see more about it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are probably excited for MGS5.
Yep.
I'm gonna sneeze soon. I don't know when. I will.
Looking for the light. And then we move on from Phantom Pain to Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5. A lot of people were expecting this to come.
Yep.
To next gen, or to current gen and PC.
And it's coming to PC as well. So
a lot of people are probably more happy about PC because modding.
Yeah.
GTA 4 was all about modding, essentially on PC.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm going to sneeze at some point.
Oh man.
But I mean, like,
but yeah, we all saw this coming. So
it's coming fall 2014. Like,
I don't think many people saw the PC at the same time as the next gen announcement. There you go.
There it is.
But yeah, it's in the.
I know. I always expected once there was going to be a next gen version, there was always going to be a PC.
Yeah.
I always thought that was going to.
I just didn't think it'd be this close together. But yeah, then we move on from Grand Theft Auto 5. Not really much else to talk about.
One thing, like, you can bring over your saves, GTA Online stuff.
To your new consoles.
So anything from the social
Cool.
club, like your online profile, like your level, your stats.
Hey, great.
You can bring that over. Apparently, you can bring Xbox 360 saves to PS4, vice versa, PS3 to Xbox One.
Wow. Hey,
And obviously both to PC.
that's pretty cool. They must have planned that for a long time.
Yeah, I'd assume so. I guess it wouldn't be. I don't know how hard that would be, but I mean,
It would be hard if you saved it in, because you can save it in certain Xbox like formats and stuff like that.
I mean, like, because it's connected to Social Club, which is Rockstar's like
yeah,
online
exactly.
stuff.
If you save it onto your own servers, then you can easily transfer them.
Yeah, I think that's what like they're going for. One big gameplay demo they showed at the Sony conference was Batman Arkham Knight. I'm a huge fan of the franchise.
Bat Tank.
Oh, it looks awesome! Like, they showed that off. I thought the gameplay was stunning. I thought being Batman never looked that good.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a big transition point, I think, for the CE3, which is where you get the games which are being made, for PS3, and then a little bit of polish and put on PS4. But then you start to get these
Like
games
next
which
gen,
are made
like current gen
specifically
only.
for the next gen, specifically
Well, I think,
for
like,
PS4
when we-
and Xbox One,
when we
which just look
eventually
that good.
When we look back on the of E3 so far, there was no at any of the conferences, nothing announced about last gen stuff, PS3 and 360
Yeah.
stuff. Everything's been current gen.
I'm not talking about announcement though. I'm talking about the actual development.
Yeah, sure.
Like
Everything's been developed first for current gen consoles. Like
Yes,
Xbox One
exactly.
is-
And now you're getting to see like what these consoles can do. The amount of detail they can really pack in.
on like things like where you can have like an open world MMORPG running on like a PS4, like The Division or things like that.
I think PlanetSide 2 as well. That's
Yeah,
also
like things like
on
that.
scale.
I mean, the Arkham Knight demo was cool. I think they showed a lot of things like how fluent using the Batmobile is. Like, essentially, he was gliding through the city, and apparently all you do is press a button, and if it's near a flat surface, you land, the Batmobile will come to you, and you jump in, and then you're in the Batmobile.
Wow.
And it showed it turning into the tank mode, which they teased before E3. I think this game is going to be awesome in 2015. It's going to be, whenever in 2015 comes, it's going to be an amazing game, I think.
A lot of games put for 2015.
Yeah, a lot of 2015 delays. Not necessarily delays, but a lot of things pushed
coming
to
out there.
2015. Yeah.
It's actually like a fairly far away sort of prospect for 2015 right now.
Depends when it's 2015, I guess, because like whenever they put it, like if it's early, just say a lot of people delay into 2015.
Yeah,
what if that's
they'll
all
have
in
more announcements.
Hopefully, if that's all in the early 2015, that means people have probably pushed back to later 2015.
Hopefully, these 2015 games aren't actually shown at the next E3. Hopefully, they're released before that.
Some of them, like the ones that have got gameplay demos.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But the cinematics, we're not quite sure yet.
But
then moving on to that,
finally,
the closing statement from Sony. One of the
pretty much
strongest.
where they dropped the mic and walked away.
Yeah.
Essentially, realistically, a lot of people were not sure if this was going to be here.
Yeah, but it was.
It was. They showed
4.
Uncharted 4.
Damn.
They named it. They put 4 behind it. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Yeah.
To me, that pretty much says this is the last Uncharted game.
And if you want to have a look at just like the capabilities of these next gen consoles and the way and the attention to detail that Naughty Dog
this
has,
trailer was all in engine.
all in engine,
All on the
was
PS4.
fucking amazing. Just oh my god.
If that's what the actual graphics look like, I'm stunned. That game looks awesome.
That's in engine, so yeah. Well,
Yes, I mean like
that's crazy. So yeah, everyone wanted another Uncharted. Everyone wanted a new next gen Uncharted. This is exactly
and
what they
the
got.
date was 2015. They announced it for 2015.
Yeah.
I'm assuming late 2015.
Assuming, yeah.
Because all the other Uncharted games will come around November.
Yeah.
So, for me, like this was exciting. I think because the turmoil that Naughty Dog's been through, like changing essentially lots of people within the team.
Yeah.
We weren't sure what
was going on.
the state of Uncharted 4 was. Showing this gave me hope that the game must be coming along well enough that they are confident enough to show
a trailer now.
Show a trailer.
Yep.
I think A Thief's End, the name pretty much says it all. This is probably the last Uncharted game. I think Naughty Dog will, once this is over, this will be the last Uncharted game. There'll be no more Uncharted games.
Yeah, Thief's End,
They'll probably work on The Last of Us sequels. They said they were working on a new IP, whatever that may be. So hopefully, like, I have no doubt this Thieves End is going to be a great game.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be awesome.
I mean, we can't really call yet since it's just a cinematic, but it looks good.
Like that, even though it was like a cinematic, it like
Naughty Dog does nothing but good stuff.
Good looking games. They do good looking games. I think that was a great way to end Day Zero, and Sony essentially. In turn,
one of the strongest ends to the conference.
Stronger end to a conference.
Yeah.
Well, we're moving on to day one of E3.
So after a bit of a gap, we're moving on to day one of E3.
So day zero was 4 conferences from Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony. We moved on to
Nintendo has a stage.
Nintendo didn't do a conference; they did a digital event that realistically just streamed a video online.
Yeah. Basically.
So it's all pre-recorded.
Yeah, all pre-recorded, everything like that. So that's actually a stronger way, I think, of presenting something.
I think I wasn't, because I didn't watch the Nintendo Direct last year. I wasn't sure how this would go.
I mean, it's very exciting to have something like on stage and stuff like that, but when you have the polish of, Nintendo conference, straight to you in like a video format,
I think it worked well.
Crazy good. Yeah,
I loved the way it started. Robot Chicken. I hope it was. I think it was Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken. Yeah, I remember that. It was.
It was Robot Chicken. It was so cool. Like Reggie. Fils-Aimé? They were trying to say. They were trying to say his name. Reggie.
Fils-Aimé.
It's Fils-Aimé. It's not that hard. And they're like, I think it started strong. I think they showed off Smash.
Oh, I definitely didn't expect the Robot Chicken, but that definitely added a lot to it.
They started off funny and they went straight in. I like how
they kept cutting to it every now and then. Like
it was just cool, like classic Robot Chicken style.
Yeah.
I mean, like I loved when at the start, like Reggie's like, we're not going to announce a new Mario game, and then like Mario backstage like, what do you mean there's a new Mario game? He got really angry and stuff like that. I thought it was
like there was like shout outs to like when are you gonna make another Mother 3 game? And then like if it was a mech just like shoots him with fireballs.
Yeah, he gets like he puts the flower suit on.
Yeah, so actually got a bit of hate from a lot of people because everyone wants a Mother 3. But it's something that was so long ago that I don't know how it can really be
received now.
Yeah.
So yeah. Going back so Nintendo started off with a very unique way of the conference. Not conference, the digital event.
Yeah.
They opened with Smash.
Yeah, they did.
They announced, in a funny way, that Reggie Fils-Aimé would verse...
Iwata.
Iwata, yeah. They were versing each other as if they were fighting each other, and then it turned in itself to be the new character, one of the new fighters for Super Smash Brothers
is your own Mii.
Is a Mii.
Yeah.
You can use a Mii.
Create Miis to fight. And
you use your own Mii, and then they were giving them classes.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Brawler, Sword Fighter, and Gunner.
Yep.
Obviously, they're pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So they showed that for the Wii U. That's obviously coming out for 3DS, so you can use a Mii.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They showed off that. They showed a bit of gameplay for that, and then they showed.
And then right at the end of that sort of little gameplay thing, they showed Iwata scanning like a little Mario figurine,
which we'll get into soon
in the game.
Yeah, we'll get that soon.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that pretty soon.
Amiibo's coming soon.
Yeah.
So it's called Amiibo. Basically, if you know what Skylanders is, it's that. You just
so they give you. It's using NFC, which is near field communication stuff. So like Skylanders, there's a chip inside the figurine, which also. Another thing, the figurine looked pretty cool.
It's like a little memory card, basically, and a little reader. So basicly, you have like these little statues which you can scan into your games. It'll work with a bunch of different games as well.
Yeah.
And then you level up those characters, like the actual statues.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
So you got something physical that you can put on your shelf,
it looks cool.
It looked cool as well, and then you can scan it into your game and actually be like a little game piece which is relevant, and you level it up and stuff like that. So it's an interesting feature. I don't know how good it'll actually be, or how much anyone actually uses it.
They said that. Skylanders sells gangbusters.
Oh yeah,
so
I'm guessing it was.
I could imagine this working the same way for Nintendo, and they need the money. So Nintendo, so with NFC, they said that the Wii U version, the Wii U version of Smash Brothers will be the first game to use it.
Mm-hmm. Especially with leveling them up to give them more power, and they level to something like level 50 or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I think it's a cool idea. I'm not happy with the name. I'm not sure about the name. Amiibo.
Yeah, it'll grow on us. Just
I'm sure, like Wii and stuff. Yeah, sure. But I mean, like, they said it will work for Wii U.
Yeah.
For the 3D, for the Super Smash, the Wii U version of the Super Smash Brothers. They also said it will eventually work with other games like Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, it's cool.
And funny in the conference when they said Mario Kart 8, they showed the Luigi Death Stare thing.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, that was cool. I thought that was the nod to like obviously everyone knows what this is now.
Yeah.
And then
going back to just quickly back to Smash Brothers, they announced apparently a delay for the 3DS version.
Okay.
They never put a solid date on it, but they said summer, American summer.
Oh, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
Summer
Okay.
2014. So October's more-ish fall.
Yeah.
So they pushed it back a little bit.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
They had a bunch of different games, like, you know, in between the different Smash announcements. So we'll just sort of condense everything that they said about Smash into this one header here.
And Wii U version's coming out holiday 2014.
Yeah.
So,
and then they announced 2 new fighters. There was Palutena from the. I can't remember the name of the game, but the one with the angels. And, oh god, mental blank. You'll hate me. Anyway,
I don't know what it is.
Palutena from. Yeah, that series.
From that. Was it Kid Icarus? Was it Kid Icarus?
Kid Icarus, that's Uprising. Okay, there you go. You got it.
I got you, Nintendo.
And then after that, after the actual direct, they announced Pac-Man. Which in a very
that's cool.
interesting way.
Yeah, that's cool. Pac-Man's in it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any Pac-Man gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that'll work. I reckon like his Super Smash, like his finish will be like something about turning them into ghosts and he eats them or something.
Yeah, probably. I can't imagine anything else really.
Yeah, so we talked about Amiibos. Just quickly, I think this was touted as being a strong rumor for Nintendo to come out with like a toy range type thing.
Yeah.
I think for me, like cool Nintendo figurines don't come often enough.
No.
So I don't have a Wii U, but I could see if I had a lot of money, I could see myself just buying these figurines, just putting it on the shelf and making it look cool.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have to be used as for the game, but they could just use look cool. I think that's cool.
Because they're about that big, maybe the size of the mic. Maybe a
Oh,
little bit.
I think it's smaller.
Yeah, about that maybe.
I don't know. It was hard to scale on the event, but I mean,
Yeah. But yeah, after that,
they announced a new Yoshi game. They went behind the scenes, talking in Japanese, English subs,
with a bunch of wool and stuff like that. It's very drawn.
very wall. It was too long. It went way too long.
But it was a nice.
It's essentially it's a game. It's a wall-based Yoshi. Like if you play
Kirby's Epic Yarn with Yoshi.
They were saying it is, but it isn't. Like in terms of like it's a Yoshi game, but like Kirby-ish yarn gameplay.
Yeah. So it's got a bunch of stuff like in there that you'd expect. So they really just took like a bundle of wool and thought
it was pretty clever.
What sort of gameplay things can we do with this? Oh, it can unravel. Or
Yeah,
it can knit things
the unraveling stuff was pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just it's a Yoshi game with a woolly lick of paint, which is nice.
They also announced a Captain Toad game.
Captain Toad, yeah. I was actually
didn't expect
surprised by this. But yeah, it looked like a nice little adventure game. Cutesy sort of thing. Not really much else to say about it. They showed a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of
I mean, like it's
platforming,
it's
a little bit
within the Mario universe at the same time, but like Captain Toad has his own unique movesets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like where he differs to Mario, like he looks like he's obviously a bit heavier.
We'll see a lot of these games coming.
I think like Nintendo needed to announce games, and they did it. That was Holiday. That's coming out this year, Holiday 2014.
Yeah.
Wii U needs games.
Yeah, it does
games.
need
Games.
And
Yoshi was
after
coming out 2015. One thing that probably a lot of people are excited for, a new Legend of Zelda game.
Yep.
They didn't show a lot.
Didn't show a lot. Just
They
a little
showed
bit
like
of
a little
CG.
behind the scenes saying, "Oh, this is what Zelda was. This is what it needs to be." Then they showed like I'm not sure. I don't think it was CG. I think it was all in game.
Was it?
I think that stuff was all in game. Probably like prettied up in game.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And then basically what the trailer involved was like Link hunting down a monster, and then
it was a different looking Link.
It looked extremely different. And
Yeah.
it didn't have the same shield or sword or whatever.
He had like a blue. I mean, he's wore blue before. But
He had a blue tunic instead of the hero tunic,
Yeah.
and he had not his usual shield, and he didn't have his usual sword, and he was using a bow instead. But I think people like interpreting that as, oh, maybe that's a new character instead.
It's just a
he's
different
using
Link.
a bow, but it's just Link using a bow, but he's also got other stuff. I think it's just like maybe like a little reboot, or maybe like a prequel. I don't even know.
You
But
can use
somewhere
different
where-
links for different games, something like.
Yeah, exactly. So
So-
I'm sure this is just a new Link evolution.
Yeah, and then release window 2015. So I think that's good for everyone. I mean, everyone's probably happy to see a new Zelda coming, a proper HD Zelda coming to Wii U.
Yeah, that's coming.
They
And
went
then-
on to Pokemon, which
Pokemon.
we all knew about. That's coming out November 21.
And that's what we really need to say about it.
Yeah, to me, like it's a remake of Ruby and Sapphire, which was on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Pretty much redone, and I'm guessing the X and Y engine, looking at 3D look.
Yeah. And then we move on to Kirby
Kirby
the Rainbow Curse.
Pretty much a new Kirby game. Not much to say. Like they showed a gameplay trailer. Classic Kirby gameplay. Realistic, classic Nintendo gameplay. Like side-scrolling.
That was the one where you have to
platforming
like
games.
like draw. And
I had like a bit of interesting with the drawing the rainbows and blocking paths, but like I mean, essentially the gameplay is just core Kirby, core Nintendo.
Except now you can just draw where you want Kirby to go. So cool.
Was it essentially that, or was it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
That was all that really showed. And then after that was Bayonetta 2.
They showed Bayonetta 2, which I totally forgot about this game.
Yeah,
we did our pre-E3.
It's coming out, and Bayonetta returns in her usual form with some new stuff, with a little bit of a polish. And then also, right at the end, it said, also, Bayonetta 1's coming with the game.
Yeah, so Bayonetta 2 will come bundled with Bayonetta 1.
Which is cool. Really, really cool.
They also tease that she will have unique Nintendo costume. She was wearing like a Link one.
Was she?
Yeah, she was wearing a Princess Peach one.
That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just more.
And I think when she was doing that, they had certain sound effects from like.
Okay.
She was wearing the Link stuff, and she opened like a door and it made the Link opening.
Oh, okay.
That was cool. That was a cool touch. I don't know if that means anything really to anyone, but like, it's a cool little.
Yeah, it's interesting anyway. But Bayonetta 2. Then
2014 that's coming out this year for Wii U. So good, more games for Wii U. Good.
Yeah, good. And then Hyrule Warriors.
I don't know about this game. I don't really like it.
Oh really? It's just Dynasty Warriors.
I don't like Dynasty Warriors though.
Did you?
No.
I actually like Dynasty Warriors.
I think it's a move for.
And it is exactly Dynasty Warriors, but with Zelda characters. So there's cool. And then we might as well just move on.
That was 26th of September this year. So I didn't think that game was coming out this year at all. I thought that was later next year.
Yeah, same. It's coming out September, which is good.
So like, so far Nintendo's pretty much barraged these games. A lot of games that personally I don't necessarily care about. Besides like Smash, Zelda, Pokemon a little bit. I'm not sure about. Okay, we'll move on to the next game. Xenoblade Chronicle X.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It looked cool.
It looks cool. The trailer looked cool. I mean, like, I'm not a big Nintendo fanboy. Like, I'm not sure about too much about Xenoblade.
I haven't played Xenoblade, but everyone who has told me it's a really, really cool thing.
Is it an RPG or what is? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
but be excited.
See, we like Nintendo here.
Yeah, exactly. No, but if you're excited for that, cool. You probably
2015 for the Wii U.
Yep.
So the games are eventually coming for the Wii U, like they all are for the other consoles. So
yeah.
Another game was that's something that I didn't expect, and I'm kind of happy about. Mario Maker.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Essentially, you're making Mario.
Yeah.
The classic 2D Mario, and they showed some crazy combinations of things like he was only jumping on I don't know what they're called, but the flying things that look like Yoshi but aren't Yoshi. I don't know what they're called.
Really?
But you could. The only way to get to the final flag was jumping on enemies like that.
Yeah. So basically, it is just like a level editor. So level editors, in an unofficial way, have existed.
And it showed.
But this is like an official way, and you can switch between like
the old Mario,
the old and new Marios on the fly. And
it's cool. I think that was awesome that you could do that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And like at the end when they showed like him jumping off the person was editing level and he blocked the castle off.
Yeah.
So he jumped off the flames couldn't run anymore
against the wall.
Yeah.
So it's on the game creation little program, like a little exercise in level design, which is really cool.
And I think and Mario is probably a very good example of very good level design.
Yeah, definitely.
So somehow if you can make a good level of Mario, you're well on the way to making good levels and other things like that.
Oh, exactly.
You understand the principles of good, like not to go off on too much of a tangent, like how much you need to jump to get to this certain thing. Like,
there's so many studies done on the level design of Mario, even the first Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
that's coming 2015. And that was all obvious as well, using exclusively the gamepad.
Yeah,
with you create everything in the gamepad. Obviously, we see it on the TV.
Yeah.
Which I think was cool. 2015 for Wii U.
Yeah. And then next game, which is something that was one of my top games.
I didn't expect this at all. No. I heard something because I watched the direct. I didn't watch it live because it was 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm watching it at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I watched it later. I saw people posting about it. Splatoon. A third person?
Splatoon is a third-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's 4v4. People have been calling it MOBA. It's not a MOBA. I don't know.
Really?
Why. People have been calling it MOBA because it's 4v4-esque and you got to move along the lanes and stuff and paint them.
I don't think you have to move along lanes.
Everything that has lanes, and 4-player versus 4-player isn't a MOBA, guys.
We could say a racing game is a MOBA.
Yeah, we could. If it has different lanes.
Exactly.
But yeah, anyway, it's 4v4, you're in a map, and you have one colour on your team, the other team has another colour, and you have to paint the entire world your colour, or like a higher percentage than the other guys before time runs out.
The match is determined by who has a high percentage of their color on the map.
Of the map colored. So imagine, okay, if you ever played Tony Hawk Underground or any of the Tony Hawk's multiplayers, where you did a trick on a certain ramp or a certain object, and the person who did the trick with the highest points owned that object. The person at the end of the game with the most objects wins. It's basically that, except you're painting the whole area, and it's really cute, really fun. It looks really interesting.
Very cool. Looks cool.
Yeah, and it's like basically you can switch between your shooter mode, which you have a little gun.
Yeah, and squid,
and your squid mode, which if you're in your color, you can move very fast. But then if you hit another color, you get stuck in it. Yep. So basically, you move in your color to travel around, and then you pop out and spray around your color more. Yeah. You can hit other players, the enemy players, with your color to damage them. So it's like a first.
You can still kill them, and then I think when you kill them, they spray out your color to obviously color that bit of
exactly. So it's. I love the concept.
I think it's a cool concept. I think. Kind of wish it wasn't only on Wii U, but I mean,
man, it's just like
I think it's a cool, quirky game. I don't know how well we received on Wii U. I mean, like, I think because it's in a charming, cartoony, like kiddish game, it'll appeal more to the Wii U owner.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you put we see Call of Duty go on Wii U, it doesn't do anything. Yeah. But, I mean, like, I think this would do well.
There was a screenshot I saw, like a little picture that I saw on some site. It was like a comparison between Nintendo games and the rest of the games at the E3 conference.
Yep.
So it was like a showing of like Far Cry, where like the guy with the blonde hair stabs some dude, and it's like close up of the dude's face as he's dying, and then like it's like split, and then below it says like it's like a little screenshot of the Yoshi game, and the caption is like of the Yoshi game. It was like, we build games to make people have fun. And that's like a big difference in the Nintendo thing. They definitely got a market
Reggie said, not to quote him exactly, but he said something like, we're here to have fun or something.
Yeah, definitely. So they're definitely going with this with all their different games, all their different art styles.
I think
sort of stuff.
When you look at Nintendo's games, they're all like personally, not all of them excite me. I don't have a Wii U, so it doesn't really appeal to me.
But they all fit a certain aesthetic.
Yeah, they all they fit the Nintendo aesthetic, where they're all cute. They're all, but like not only kids will like it. I think like adults will like it these days.
Yeah, it's nostalgically cute.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's conference was pretty solid, but they ended on a very big teaser.
Yeah,
a new Star Fox.
So was it Iwata? That was just.
Was it Iwata? I thought it was someone else.
I think it was Iwata. It was just holding a gamepad and like playing Star Fox in the end, and then just cut. Was that it?
Yeah, essentially. And then they showed another piece of footage, or someone took a picture of him playing it on the show floor. I think it was on the show floor at E3.
Okay.
So
it's not even an announcement or anything. It's just like a little teaser, so we don't know when that's coming.
I think it was more or less to show off.
That'd be 2015.
How to use a gamepad as a unique way to play games.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he even said that. I can't remember, because obviously it was translated and had subtitles. I think it was like, we're trying to figure out new ways to use a gamepad.
Yeah.
I think that was one of them. I think it was Star Fox. I don't know if they actually said it was Star Fox.
No, they didn't say it, but it looked like it. You could see the characters like in the corner of the screen. Like how like the characters would pop up and then talk, and their little like
yeah.
It was one of the characters. Cool. But yeah, so that is Star Fox and 2015, I'm guessing.
Potentially later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the end
of the entire thing.
Essentially.
Hopefully that didn't take too long.
Probably ages. I'll probably cut up the video eventually.
Yeah, okay.
I'll probably split into sections. But I mean, we've come to the end of the discussion of all the conferences in general. We've gone through Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, Sony,
Nintendo.
But to end the podcast, I thought we'd ask each other a couple of questions, just to like get our overall
opinions on it
of E3. Yeah. Like these are very broad questions. Like first, I'll ask you first: who had the better conference?
Nintendo.
Of all the
Nintendo.
Yeah, sure. Why? What do you think of
that? They just really showed a lot of quality. Showed a lot of games. They showed a lot of fun. It was just such a polished presentation. And they had so much to show, so much quality to show, and they really just held firm with the whole Nintendo belief of just having fun and and just making an experience which is fun and players will enjoy. And that's I expected that going into it, and I'm very happy that they lived up to it.
Yeah, for me, it's hard. I think everyone had good conferences. I think. I'll say who I think had the weakest one was EA. EA had a very weak conference.
Yeah.
I didn't find it, like, Battlefield at the end was cool to watch, but I mean,
closely followed by Ubi.
Yeah, I mean, like probably goes in
the fields.
Like I don't know, Ubi's like was okay, but I think I have to agree with you. Nintendo had a much better conference.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think that was the best one for you.
Yeah, I think overall it had the best. It was probably presented best. A lot of games. I mean, like, again, I say like I'm not a big Nintendo fan, but I think they represented their stuff very well. I think
if you had to like tier it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nintendo won. It's hard to say. I think Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, EA.
Yeah, that's mine as well.
I think just because if Sony didn't have that lull about talking about PlayStation Plus TV, they would have been equal.
And
to,
shows,
they would have been equal to Microsoft.
Just do the games. Talk about that later in E3. There's more days for that. Come on.
I think like if they didn't have that part, Sony and Microsoft would have been tied. I think Nintendo did much better than I never. We're going into that Nintendo. Better. I watched it last night. Last evening, I should say. Like I watched it and like didn't expect much going into it. I was like, wow, Nintendo did a good job. Like
solid.
So yeah, exactly. It was a very solid conference. I think where other ones had highs and lows, like where the lows really brought them down. I think like Microsoft's ending with Crackdown and Sony's with the TV bullcrap, and then EA's with a bland showing of games, and Ubisoft with not enough stuff.
Just abhorrent presenters.
No, I like Aisha Tyler actually. She's very funny. I thought, but I mean, Nintendo won. Like not won. They had the better conference. They showed much better games. Not better games. They showed a solid array of games. I think a lot of things that a lot of people care about. I just when I finished, like, wow, Nintendo did a good job here. Yeah, I think they did a good job. Okay, like this is a question we touted kind of last podcast on the first one. After the E3 now, would you buy either one of these consoles?
Yeah, the first question was before E3. In their current state, would you buy each of the consoles?
Yeah.
And now it's after.
Well, after the conferences, we haven't. I mean, we saw there's still time to watch demos and stuff like that. Like, there's still a couple of days after the E3.
Yeah, I would buy a PS4 and Wii U.
PS4 and Wii U? Cool. Like, for me, I already have a PS4, so I don't have to buy that. But I mean,
But you would buy it if you didn't have it.
Actually, I don't. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably. Okay. I'd buy one or the other of Xbox One or PS4.
Okay.
Wii U, I'd want to buy, but I just don't know if I could see myself doing it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'd love to play like the new Zelda.
Yep.
I mean, Super Smash Brothers.
Yep.
Have a go at the Mario Maker.
There's so many games coming out that if you bought a Wii U right now, you would be nothing but happy for the next year.
I mean, like, there's some good Wii U games already, like Wind Waker HD, Super Mario 3D World.
Yep.
I played 3D Mario Kart 8. I mean, like, there's good games out now.
Donkey Kong Country.
I'm not sure, but like, yeah, like, there's good games for it now. But I mean, I think maybe I should have phrased the question: would I buy one now? But would I buy them eventually? I think I'd eventually buy an Xbox One more over buying a Wii U. I think, just because Halo for sure. For me, like, I bought a 360 to play Halo, and I could eventually buy an Xbox One to play Halo again.
I like Halo, but I think I got my fill when I played 1, 2, and 3.
Sure.
I don't think I need it anymore. But yeah.
This is like a broad question again. What games are you looking forward to coming out of the conferences in E3? Like, we saw a lot of games.
Do you want to do like a top?
Give me a top 5.
Top 5 games of every conference.
From the E3 conferences. So top 5 games.
Top Abzu.
Yep.
Number 1.
Yep.
Number 2. No Man's Sky. Number 3. Valiant Hearts.
Yep.
Number 4. Splatoon.
Yeah. Okay.
And then number 5 would probably be Sunset Overdrive.
Cool. Like, very strong list.
Yeah, that is the strongest list that I think I could come up with.
For me, it's a bit harder because I feel like I'm going to lean towards the big first-party games.
Yeah.
But number 1, I don't know what I'd put as number 1. Really, it's of actual games that we saw.
Why don't you just list like 5 of, in no particular order?
I guess like number 1, Uncharted.
Okay.
Number 1, Uncharted. Definitely, I love that series. I'm excited for that. Number 2,
Uncharted.
Number 2, probably Valiant Hearts.
Okay.
So I've gone from the scale of big scale to big game, and then just small indie. So yeah, Valiant Hearts looks awesome. I think. 3, No Man's Sky.
Yep. Solid.
No Man's Sky is an awesome looking indie game. 4. Here we go. I don't really know now. 4.
Cool.
No, like
Halo.
no, I don't, not even that. I think. What did we have? Batman. I'll say Batman.
Okay.
For 4.
Then 5.
5, maybe. Actually, looking forward to it. I'd probably say Far Cry 4.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
actually,
like-
no, Far Cry 4 would have been in there. That would be number 6 for me.
So yeah, top 5 for me was Uncharted. What did I say? Valiant Hearts.
Yeah.
Then No Man's Sky. Then Batman. And
Far Cry.
Cry.
Yeah.
I think they're 4, 5. Like we're ranging of both in different games. They're both like 5 awesome games. I think.
Yeah,
we could
yeah,
get.
definitely. This E3 definitely had a lot of games which are very good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then finally,
So hard to choose.
yeah, it's really hard to. I mean, I guess we might have already answered this, but like overall, what did you think was the best thing you saw at E3
Best thing?
in terms of games?
Um,
Like we've had an extra day off since the conferences have finished.
the best thing I saw at E3.
Yeah, so
does it have
far.
to be a game?
Let's try to keep it within the realm of games. Like
Okay.
game wise, is it still Abzu?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'd say, well, I'm most excited for Abzu just because I like Journey, but I'm not as hyped for it as I would be for something like Valiant Hearts, or what was my other ones? Or Splatoon. I think Splatoon was my number 1, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my number 1 game that I would buy right now, but it's definitely
One of the best games
one
ever.
that impressed me the most.
Sure. For me, No Man's Sky.
Yeah?
That's got to be one of the best games of the show.
Yeah.
Like it's got such a small game and it's got this big presence already. Like so many people are willing to get this game.
Yeah, oh man.
Like nobody knows too much about it. I don't think we have a date for it either. But
I guess we'll see, but it has a lot of potential.
A lot of potential. I think a lot of people are going to be very happy when this game comes out eventually.
Yeah.
Cool. So
That's pretty much
that
it.
brings us to the end of our post E3 podcast for Rich Tomato.
These 2 E3 podcasts will be our longest ones.
Essentially,
If we made it through both of them,
good for you.
yeah, we'll get Zach to give you some special price, and you can message him about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to scrunch up 7 pieces of paper, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hit the camera, that would be awful. So, E3 2014 overall, very impressive. Lots of games.
Yeah.
a lot of games we liked.
I'm very impressed by it all.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of coverage to look at. I mean, not being a professional journalist or anything, like I just sat down and watched all these conferences and
Yeah.
took notes and everything. Like, it was a lot of things to watch, a lot of things to think about.
A lot of content.
A lot of
A lot
content.
of impressive games. A lot of hype, and we'll just see how that all pans out.
I mean, yeah, stay tuned to youtube.com/TheRichTomato. I mean, we'll post, I'm going to say this, every week we'll be posting something about games industry, anything like that. You can follow us on Twitter. Shane is Data Crash?
Data Crash?
Data Crash with a...
You'll see all other Twitter handles
somewhere.
Yeah.
Data, is it Data with
a
4 as an A?
Yeah,
In data?
It's complicated. We're not going to go into it.
Yeah. You can find me at Ulstrom23. Zach is at ZachCliffGames.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow us on youtube.com/TheRichTomato.
Yep, and leave us in the comments any
Yeah,
suggestions.
comment, subscribe, like, all that. I don't know.
I'm not going to say that, but just if you'd like to give us a like and share it, whatever.
Share with your friends.
Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this. We love you all, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks. Bye.